Good day, grade 7. For this video, we are going to discuss about the laws of exponents. In this lesson, you will learn how to identify the different laws of exponents and derives the laws of exponent. Whenever we have variables which contain exponents and have equal bases, we can do certain mathematical operations to them. Those operations are called the laws of exponents. So when we say laws of exponents, ito po yung mga rules na ating gagamitin when we are performing operations involving variables with exponents. So kailangan po nating sundin. So dahil nga ito ay law, kailangan nating sundin para hindi tayo magkamali ng sagot. Okay? So konting review muna. When we say x raised to the power of n, x is called the base and n is called the exponent. Ano nga ba kapag sinabing exponent? If n is a natural number, then x raised to n is equal to x times x times x up to the nth x. So the number of times you will multiply x by itself depends on the value of n. Okay? So the exponent, which is a natural number, tells us how many times the base is used as a factor. So let's have some examples here. Express the following in exponential form. First, what is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 in exponential form? So as you can see, 3 is being multiplied by itself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times. So ang magiging exponential form po natin is 3 raised to the power of 5. 3 ang ating base and then 5 po ang exponent. Okay? Since 5 times po, minultiply ang 3 by itself. Next po is 2x times 2x times 2x times 2x. So, kung titingnan po natin, yung buong expression na 2x yung minumultiply sa sarili niya. Okay? So, kailangan po ang quantity 2x po ay nasa loob pa rin ng parenthesis. And then, i-raise natin siya to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, to the power of 4. So, 4 times nating minultiply ang 2x by itself. Again, take note of this, kailangan po nasa loob ng parenthesis ang 2x to indicate na yung buong 2x po ang minumultiply natin sa sarili niya. Okay? So, hindi po pwedeng walang parenthesis kasi, so pag sinulat po natin siya ng walang parenthesis, dito po yung x lang ang naka-raise sa 4. Okay? So, i-raise mo yung x sa 4 bago mo i-multiply sa 2, which is iba po ang kahulugan dun sa ating tamang sagot. So, sa ating pong tamang sagot, i-multiply muna yung x sa 2 bago siya i-raise sa 4. So, magkaiba po yung dalawa. Kaya, careful po tayo. Kailangan po nating maglagay ng parentheses. Next. What is negative 7 times negative 7 times negative 7 in exponential form? So, negative 7 po ang nire-raise natin to a certain power and that is 1, 2, 3. So, to the power of 3. So, paano po natin siya isusulat? Ayan. So, quantity negative 7 raised to 3. So, as you can see, nasa loob din siya ng parenthesis. Dahil po, iba po ang kahulugan kapag wala siyang parenthesis. So, kung ating i-interpret yung walang parenthesis, it's the negative of 7 cube. Okay? Unlike dun sa ating correct answer, it's the cube of negative 7. So, magkaiba po ang kanilang kahulugan. Doon naman tayo sa vice versa or sa pabaliktad. Express the following in expanded form. So, given yung exponential form, ating po siyang i-expand. First, what is negative 2 raised to the 6th power? So, ang base natin ay negative 2, ang exponent ay 6, which means we are going to multiply negative 2 by itself 6 times. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 6 pong negative. 2 yung ating factors. Next, what is quantity 3m raised to the 4th power? So, that means that we multiply 3m by itself 4 times. So, paano po yung isulat? 3m times 3m times 3m times 3m. Ganun lang po. Next, what is quantity AB raised to the 3rd power? Or the cube of AB. So, that is AB times AB times AB. Okay? So, lagi lang po nating i-consider po ay yung base natin. I-multiply po siya sa sarili niya. Depende dun sa bilang po na nakalagay sa exponent. Okay? So, I hope naintindihan po ang ating exponential form at ang expanded form. So, dumako naman tayo sa ating first rule or yung first law of exponent. So, the first law is the product law of exponents. And it states that for any base m and integers x and y, m raised to x times m raised to y is equal to m raised to x plus y. So, ang ibig sabihin po nung ating law na ito, when we are multiplying expressions having the same base, so as you can see, parehas m, diba? So, kung parehas po ang base niya, we can simply add their exponents. Okay? So, we have to note that the bases must be the same before you can add the exponents. So, saan nga ba nanggaling yan? Halimbawa, we have 2 cubed times 2 squared, di ba? So, when we say 2 cubed, it's 2 times 2 times 2, di ba? And then, we multiply it by 2 squared, so we will have times 2 times 2 ulit. So, all in all, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 2 raised to the 5th power. So, kung titingnan po natin, kung babalikan natin yung given, so we can just simply add 3 and 2 to get 5. So, ang shortcut natin is 2 raised to 3 plus 2. So, no need nang i-expand po siya ng ganito kahaba. So, we can just show na i-add natin yung exponents para makuha yung tamang sagot. So, the answer is 2 raised to 5. Okay, so in this case, 2 raised to 5 naman po, when we get the value is 32. Okay, so kasi 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, and then times 2, that's 32. Okay po? Ayan, so let us try to apply the product law of exponents. What is x squared times x cubed? So, as you can see, parehas po yung base niya. So, i-apply natin yung product law. We will have x raised to 2 plus 3, and that is equal to x raised to 5. Okay? Next, what is 2b times 5b cubed? So, as you can see, meron na siyang numerical coefficient. Of course, yung numerical coefficient natin, imumultiply po natin siya. So, wag nyo pong gagawin na i-apply natin yung law sa numerical coefficient. Kaya nga po tinawag na laws of exponents, ito po ay gagamitin lang natin sa exponents ng variables, okay? Or sa exponents po ng ating expression. So, i-separate natin para madali. I-separate po natin ang numerical coefficients dun sa variables. And then, i-apply natin yung product law dun sa variable natin. So, we will have 2 times 5. Okay? So, 2 times 5 times b raised to 1 plus 3. So, saan po nanggaling ang 1? Take note that the exponent of b is 1. Okay? So, pag wala kayong nakikitang exponent, automatic it's 1. Tatandaan po yan. So, the final answer now is, so 2 times 5 is 10, and then 1 plus 3 is 4. So, we have 10b raised to 4. Okay? Ayan. So, yan na po yung final answer. Next. So, what if we have negative 3a squared times a to the 4th power times 4 b to the 5th power. So sabi ko nga po, isa-separate po natin yung mga numerical coefficients. So we have negative 3 times, we have 1 here. So sabi ko rin dati na kapag po wala kayong nakikitang numerical coefficient sa tabi ng variable, automatic siya po ay 1 din. Okay? So since multiplying a number by 1 will not affect its value, so we can just simply say it's negative 3 times positive 4. Okay? Kasi wala namang mababago pag nilagay natin yung 1 dyan. And then, combining the exponents of the variables or the factors having the same bases, we have a squared times a raised to 4, magiging a raised to 2 plus 4. Okay? And since wala naman pong ibang factor na ang base ay b, kakopy lang po natin siya or kokopyahin lang po natin. Okay? So, magiging b raised to 5 pa rin siya. And then, simplifying our expression, negative 3 times 4 is 12, and then 2 plus 4 is 6. So, our final answer is negative 12, a raised to 6, b raised to 5. Ayan. So, let's proceed to the second law. So, we have now the quotient law of exponents. For any base m and integers x and y, so for this law naman po, we have 3 cases, okay? So, let's study the first case. So, m raised to x divided by m raised to y can be simply written as m raised to x minus y. So, kabaliktaran siya nung kanina, di ba? Pag nag-multiply tayo with the same base, we add the exponent. So, dito naman, when we divide expressions having the same base, we subtract the exponents, okay? So, for our first case, mas mataas po ang exponent nung nasa numerator kaysa sa denominator. So, x is greater than y. So, ganito po ang magiging format ng sagot natin, ha? Okay? Tatandaan po yan. So, m raised to x minus y. So, subtract lang natin yung x at saka yung y. Okay, first example. What is a raised to 11 divided by a raised to 5? So, applying the quotient law of exponents, we have a raised to 11 minus 5, and 11 minus 5 is equal to 6. Therefore, the answer is a raised to the power of 6. So, saan nga ba nanggaling yung quotient law natin? Okay? So, tingnan lang natin kung paano nga bang nangyari itong shortcut na to. So, pag in-expand po natin ang a raised to 11 or sineparate natin yung factors niya, pwede natin siyang isulat as a raised to 5 times a raised to 6. Okay? Ayan. Over a raised to 5. So, pinaghiwalay lang natin po yung factors ng a raised to 11. So, since we have here the same expressions, dividing them will give us 1, right? So, take note, when we are dividing a number by itself, we always get 1. So, magiging 1 po iyon. And multiplying the answer or the outcome to the remaining expression, so 1 times a raised to 6, we have a raised to 6. So, dun po siya nanggaling. So, for us to do this, just simply subtract 11 and 5 so that we will have 6. Okay? So, apply natin sa mga susunod na examples. What if we have negative 12m raised to 6 divided by 3m squared? Again, let us separate the numerical coefficient and the variables for the literal coefficients. Okay? So, we have negative 12 divided by 3. Negative 12 divided by 3 times m raised to, since mas mataas po ang 6 sa 2, so we have 6 minus 2. So, simplify lang po natin, divide the 2. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4, while 6 minus 2 is positive 4. Therefore, our answer is negative 4m raised to the 4th power. Okay? Ayan. Next. So, medyo habaan natin ng konti at damihan ng variables. So, what if we have 4x raised to 6, y raised to 7, z cubed divided by 20x squared, y to the 5th power. So, let us separate the factors and apply the laws. Okay? We have here 4 divided by 20 or 4 over 20 and then times x raised to 6 minus 2 and then times y raised to 7 minus 5. And then since wala pong kagaya yung z sa denominator, just simply copy it. So we have z cubed. So applying the rules, okay? So to simplify 4 and 20 or 4 divided by 20, we have to divide both by the GCF, and the GCF is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1 and 20 divided by 4 is 5. So that is 1/5 na lang sa lowest term. And then simplifying the exponents, we will get 1/5 x raised to 4 y squared z cubed. So ito po pwede rin nating isulat as x raised to 4 y squared z cubed all over 5. So ito pong expression na to, minultiply na natin sa numerator na 1. So, maalin po sa dalawa, acceptable naman po yan parehas. So, next rule na po tayo. So, second case natin ay when x is equal to y. So, of course, kapag po equal na yung dalawa, pag sinubtract natin siya, ang makukuha natin ay 0. Okay? And also, may rule tayo na kapag parehas na parehas yung dalawang expression at dinivide mo sila, ang sagot po dun ay 1. So, halimbawa, 5 divided by 5, that is 1. Right? So, 3 divided by 3, that is 1 also. So, that means that m raised to 0 is equal to 1. Okay? And that means also that any number raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Okay? So, kahit po gaano pa kalaki yung base natin, kung ang exponent po ay 0, ang actual value niya ay 1 pa din. Okay po? Apply po natin ngayon yung case number 2 natin for the quotient law. So, we have here d raised to 4 divided by d raised to 4, and that is equal to d raised to 4 minus 4, and that's d raised to 0. And again, that's equal to 1. So, ganun lang siya kadali, di ba? Pero, syempre, iba yun kapag sinamahan na natin ang numerical coefficients. So, atin pong i-separate ulit ang numerical coefficient. We will have 11 over negative 33, and then apply the quotient law, we have e raised to 7 minus 7. So, ang GCF po ng 11 at 33 ay 11. So, divide natin. 11 divided by 11 is 1, and 33 divided by 11 is 3. So, that's negative 1/3 na. Kasi 1 divided by negative 3 is negative 1/3. And then e raised to 7 minus 7 will become e raised to 0. So, simplifying the answer, so e raised to 0 again is 1. And then 1 multiplied to negative 1/3 is still negative 1/3. So, yun pa rin ang ating sagot, negative 1/3 po. So, yung negative po ay nasa gitna na siya ha, kasi dinivide na natin 1 divided by negative 3. So, that means that the whole fraction is negative. Hindi numerator lang, hindi denominator lang, kundi yung buong fraction. So, next rule po tayo. So, ito na po yung third case. So, yung third case po natin ay ayan. So, x is smaller than y. So, mas maliit po yung value ng exponent sa taas kaysa sa baba. So, ang magiging answer po natin for this case is this one. Tatandaan po natin. So, naka-fraction po siya wherein ang ating numerator ay 1 over m raised to y minus x. So, yung mas malaki pa rin ang mauuna, okay? So, dahil nga mas malaki ang y, una po ang y isusulat. So, y minus x. Okay? Ayan. So, paano nga ba nangyari yan? Halimbawa, magbigay lang ako ng example. So, 2 squared divided by 2 to the 5th power. So, kapag po ating sinimplify to, or in-expand pala, so we have 2 squared, and then separate natin ulit yung factors, 2 squared times 2 cubed, di ba? And then, kapag kinancel natin yung parehas, that's 1 and 1. So, multiplying the rest, may 1 kang natitira sa taas, and then we have 1 times 2 cubed, still it's 2 cubed. Or simply, that's 1 over 8. So, fraction po siya. Take note, okay? Kapag po mas malaki ang denominator sa baba, nagiging fraction na po yung sagot. O, apply natin ngayon sa variables. What is c cubed divided by c raised to 8? So, dahil po mas malaki po yung exponent ng denominator, so ang magiging sagot natin ay 1 divided by c raised to 8 minus 3. Okay? Again, mas mataas po yung nasa denominator, kaya po nasa baba po yung ating variable. So, 8 minus 3 is 5. So, the answer is 1 over c raised to 5. Next. So, ganun po ulit. Pag may numerical coefficients, atin pong ibubukod or isa-separate. So, we have 4 over 6 times 1 over b raised to 10 minus 4. Okay? And then, simplify natin yung 4 over 6 kasi pwede pa siyang i-lowest term. Ang GCF niya ay 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. So, 4 over 6 is 2/3. Okay? And then this one will become b raised to the 6th power. So, pag minultiply po natin yung dalawa, so pareha siyang fraction, di ba? Take note po, ang rule natin kapag nagmumultiply ng fraction, a over b times c over d, we multiply the numerator by the numerator, so that's ac, and then denominator by denominator, that's bd. So, ganun din ang gagawin natin dito. We multiply 2 times 1, and that's 2, and we multiply 3 times b raised to the 6th power. So, the final answer is 2 divided by 3b to the 6th power. Next po. So, we have 15b squared c raised to 5 divided by negative 3, a to the 5th power, b to the 9th power, c to the 8th power. So, we separate the numerical coefficients. We have 15 divided by negative 3. And then, since lahat naman po ay mas mataas po ang exponent sa denominator, and then yung a po natin nasa denominator lang, so lahat sila ay nasa denominator pa rin natin isusulat. Okay? Pati yung a. Kasi wala naman po siyang kaparehas dun sa numerator. So we have 1 over a raised to 5, b raised to, so we have 9 minus 2, and then c raised to 8 minus 5. So simplifying our expression here, 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5. Okay? And then yung negative 5 na yon, so magiging negative 5 na po ito, imumultiply natin dun sa 1. Okay? And then negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. And since negative po ang numerator divided by positive denominator, that means the whole expression is negative. Okay? So, negative 5 raised to a raised to 5, b raised to 7, c cubed. Okay po? Ayan. So, dahil po ito ay magiging negative times positive, negative po ang buong fraction. Our third rule or law is the power of a power rule. This states that for any base m and integers x and y, m raised to x raised to y is simply m raised to x times y. So when we are raising an expression to 2 or more exponents, we simply multiply the exponents. Okay? So, saan nga ba ito nanggaling? Halimbawa, we have here 2 squared raised to 3. So, kunwari po, ganyan, di ba? So, pag in-expand natin yan, that's 2 squared times 2 squared times 2 squared. And then, applying the quotient or the product law pala, sorry. So, applying the product law, we have 2 raised to 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6. Okay? So, kung titingnan nyo yung given, we can just simply multiply the 2. Okay? 2 times 3. Para mas madali. So, that's 2 raised to 2 times 3. And that will also give us 2 raised to 6. Okay po? So, let us now try to apply this rule to variables or expressions with numerical coefficients. Ayan. So, first, what is x raised to 4? Raised to 3. We will have here x raised to 4 times 3. And 4 times 3 is 12. So, that is x raised to 12. Next, what is c cubed raised to the 5th power? Again, we multiply the exponents, c raised to 3 times 5, and we will have c raised to 15. And lastly, what is p squared raised to 3 raised to 5? So, tatlo yung exponents. Sabi ko nga po, when we have 2 or more exponents po, we are going to multiply these exponents. And that gives us p raised to 2 times 3 times 5, which is actually equal to p raised to 30. Ayan. So, next rule. The next rule is power of a product. So, for any bases m and n and integer x, the quantity mn raised to the power of x can also be written as m raised to x times n raised to x. So, as you can see, we distribute the exponent to each distinct factors of the monomial term. So, if there are 2 or more factors inside, kailangan pong i-distribute natin yung exponent kada factor po. Okay? So, bigyan ko kayo ng isang halimbawa dito. So, when we say, for example, AB raised to the power of 4. So, di ba, ang AB raised to the power of 4, pag in-expand natin, ay AB times AB times AB times AB. And since multiplication naman po yan, di ba sa multiplication po, we can apply the associative property. Meaning, we can regroup the factors. And regrouping the factors does not affect the product. So, pag niregroup natin yung magkakaparehas na variables, we will get A times A times A times A times B times B times B times B. So, writing this in exponential form, we have A raised to 4 times B raised to 4. So, as you can see, dun sa ating given, dinistribute lang natin. Okay? Yung 4 dun sa A at B. Take note, ang exponent ng A ay 1. Okay? Ang exponent ng B ay 1. So, 4 times 1 is 4, and then 4 times 1 again is 4. So, parang in-apply lang din natin yung power of a power. Yun nga lang, meron po tayong 2 or more factors dun sa loob ng parentheses. Okay? So, let's have more examples. So, what is the cube of xy? Okay? So, sabi ko nga po, pag wala kayong nakikita dyan na exponent, that means meron po yung invisible 1. Okay? So, distributing the exponent 3, we will get x cubed, y cubed. So, that's 1 times 3, 3. Then, another 1 times 3, 3 din. Kaya po, x cubed, y cubed. Next, paano naman to? A squared b na siya. meron na pong exponent din ng loob. So, what is the cube of a squared b? So, sabi ko nga po, i-distribute lang natin yung exponent niya. Again, b is raised to the first power po, ha? Ayan. So, distributing 3, we will get a raised to 2 times 3 and then b raised to 3. Kasi 1 times 3 is 3 naman po. Okay? Then, simplifying, 2 times 3 is 6. So, the answer is a raised to 6b cubed. Next, so paano naman kapag meron na siyang numerical coefficient? Of course, we need to consider also the exponent of the numerical coefficient. And since wala naman po tayong nakikita ang exponent dyan, ganun din po yun. Ibig sabihin, merong invisible 1 yan. Same po ng m, meron ding invisible 1 na exponent. So, 3 times po natin i-distribute yung 2 dun sa loob kasi tatlo yung distinct factors. Okay, so we will get 4 squared, so 1 times 2 is 2, and then m squared, again 1 times 2 is 2, and then n raised to 3 times 2. So simplifying this, 4 squared is 4 times 4, that is equal to 16, and then 3 times 2 here is 6. So the final answer is 16m squared n raised to the 6th power. Okay, so yan po ang ating final answer. For the last rule or last law, we have the power of a quotient. So, medyo similar lang siya dun sa power of a product. For any bases m and n and integer x, m divided by n raised to the power of x can also be written as m raised to x divided by n raised to x. So, as you can see, dinistribute lang po sa numerator at denominator yung exponent na x. So, apply po natin, ha? Ayan. So, we have here 2/3 cube. So, paano po natin siya isosolve? Again, i-distribute lang natin yung 3 sa numerator at sa denominator. So, we will have here 2 cube divided by 3 cube. And since number naman po sila, pwede natin kuhanin ng value niyan. 2 cube is 2 times 2 times 2, while 3 cube is 3 times 3 times 3. So, getting the value, we will have 8/27. Okay? So, isosolve natin ha kapag po number yung base. So, next example. What is quantity AB divided by 5C squared? Okay, so this time we are going to distribute 2 to AB and to 5C. So, magiging ganito po siya. So, as you can see, yung numerator and denominator natin, gagamitan naman natin ang power of a product. Dahil po product po yung nasa loob ng parentheses. Again, when we apply the power of a product, we simply distribute the exponent to each factor inside. So, this will give us a squared b squared divided by 5 squared c squared. And since yung 5 squared po ay constant, pwede natin siyang isolve. So, we will get a squared b squared divided by 25c squared. And this will be our final answer. Okay? So, sana po ay naintindihan po ang ating bawat laws para po may apply po natin ito ng tama sa ating mga isosolve na problems. Okay? So, magagamit po natin ang mga laws of exponents na ito kapag tayo ay magmumultiply na at magdi-divide ng algebraic expressions. Okay? So, thank you for listening. Sana po ay naintindihan po ang ating discussion. Have a good day!